Now, we've been following Tesla and Elon Musk since we started this program just over 4 years ago. We've been both cheerleaders and naysayers. And I can tell you this for certain. When it comes to autonomous vehicles, Tesla has an edge that even Waymo can't beat. And I want to explain why. And I'm going to start with this. First of all, Chase, did you know that from 2016 onward, Tesla actually upped the computing capacity of all their cars and invested in heavy-duty servers so that they have been gleaning mile by mile, car by car information from all the cars they've ever sold into their computers to help train their autonomous driving systems, which, by the way, since the fall of 2016, every single Tesla's been equipped with, but has not been turned on. Let me start
I didn't
there.
know that.
Yeah. See, that's the number one thing. Because the big thing about autonomous driving is that right now, the vehicles and the systems have to learn. And there's millions, billions, trillions of different things that happen in the course of driving. Every single Tesla is a test bed and a wealth of information in the day-to-day dispatch of what these cars encounter. All of that information goes back to Tesla's servers in which Tesla can refine and recruit. So they're racking up millions and billions of miles in real time over the last 5 years. Waymo doesn't have that. And when you mix all the cameras that's in a Tesla, and they're getting all that information, and it's going back to the servers. Remember I talked about in an earlier program how vehicles are communicating with the manufacturer? This is a case, but for a very specific reason.
Yeah.
Tesla needs to build an incredibly large body of knowledge in order to train their systems to how to operate seamlessly, dependably, reliably, and consistently every single time, under every single condition. The only way they can know that is to learn it. And the only way they can learn it is to get it in real time. The good, the bad, and the ugly across everywhere. Mm-hmm. So if you see a Tesla, it's sending information back to Fremont in real time about every mile it travels and what it encountered.
And even just like last year still, as you think some car companies are making a dent into their sales, 79% of all EVs registered in the U.S. last year were Teslas.
Mm-hmm. And I think that what will happen, we were naysayers here when the Model 3 came out.
Don't pile me in with that. I wasn't here.
I was. I'll own it.
I'm just kidding. I probably would have been right there too.
I said there's no way. I said the man can't do it.
Yeah.
He's done it.
I have my issues with Elon, but
yeah, but you know
right
what?
There with you.
He was shy of 500,000 cars last year. He said he'd do it. I think he was 10,000 short.
So your focus is more on you think the software is what's going to get him ahead because
the data.
Yep, the data. Yep, that makes sense.
The data.
Because my mind went to in this, my drawback was I felt like cause we're talking about EVs here, not necessarily just. Or you said autonomous though. What the autonomous feature that makes sense? Because I was thinking price, right? Like, so whoever starts getting lower prices in on these for people to purchase eventually. But you're right for autonomous reasons. Yeah.
But think about this.
Yep, I see what you're saying,
but even at that. The fact that all those cameras in every Tesla is getting this information and sending it back to the computers allows them
figure out how to
how the car should operate and train their systems through deep machine learning. In fact, Tesla is such a point they don't need the LiDAR cameras. They argue that with all of this coverage that they've got, their current deep learning technology can recreate the depth data that LiDAR provides, rendering the LiDAR systems in everybody else's cars obsolete. They don't need it. And Tesla took a leaf out of Apple's book. Apple, for many years, developed their own systems, and it was a closed-loop system that allowed them to control their operating system and all of that. Tesla's chips, proprietary. They developed them. Tesla computers, Tesla hardware, Tesla software. They did not buy off the shelf. They did not hire somebody else or a supplier to develop. They didn't buy it from a supplier. Tesla developed all of that in-house.
And nobody else is doing this? Do you think that's why Apple's making a car now? Because they're like, oh my gosh, Tesla's the only one doing this. Now we got to do it before anyone else does.
Well, I'm not sure.
Sony?
Apple's, I'm not sure. Well, but Sony has a third-party manufacturer involved.
You did tell me that.
So, yeah. But this is the thing, and this is where people are missing it. Now, the one issue I've got where this particular writer talked about one example of manufacturing where Tesla was able to take 70 metal pieces, and make it one. And I said, yeah, you're obviously not thinking about repairability. Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, you might be able to do that, but what if that piece gets damaged? Now you got a real problem because it's one piece, not the 70 or even 20 that it was where you might be able to replace a couple pieces. Now you've got a major expense, which may total a car. So he wasn't thinking all the way out there. I understand where he was going. It's like, there's thinking smart in terms of manufacturing. But in the auto business, they weren't thinking about real world use in his case. Is
there any way, any sort of data regulation could it get in the way of Tesla's getting all this information eventually?
Gee, you want to ask me that again based on some of the stories we've covered that there's no federal laws regarding that information?
Yeah. But if they did, would that cut into Tesla's progress at all? Or they've already gotten so much that...
It depends on how the laws are passed, and it depends because it's autonomous information. Mm-hmm. Tesla doesn't need personal information.
Yeah.
They need real world, what the sensors are feeding the computers. What is the car doing?
That makes sense.
Under what conditions is the car doing it? What happened in this situation when the driver and or the car encountered it?
Yeah.
What did it do? Or should it have done? Or what happened? They can funnel all that in and use this neural learning to be predictive in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, that's AI and, neural networks and deep machine learning all together. That's software, algorithms, a lot of the geeky scientific stuff. But you get deep down in that, that's where Tesla is kicking butt and taking names, where these folks don't have all that information.
If anything, the government probably wants to get their hands on this information.
For what?
to also learn, right? Or if it's not Tesla specific, maybe then it's...
But what are they going to do with it? Just Tesla's doing it to make their cars better and to make their software better and actually to make their software up and above. Now, will there be other cheaper vehicles than Teslas out there? EVs? Yes.
But it's not necessarily autonomous.
Not necessarily. And there may be cheaper autonomous ones, but nobody will do it as well as they do it, and nobody will be first like them. Right now, what most people don't realize, I kept saying for the longest, Teslas are not autonomous, and that's true. What I didn't tell you is they've had autonomous technology in them for almost 5 years, just turned off.